In that attention you've got 4 components, is this right? Self-reflection.
Yes.
It's got 4 components, do you know what they are?
Yes, attention is one, then it's intention, action and image.
And what's that process about?
Well, basically, if you want to actually look at what you're creating and change it, so these are the 4 things you've got to consider. First of all, what your attention is on, because that's what you're feeding. Secondly, look at your intention, why you're putting your energy into that thing. Because that isn't entirely unconscious as people think it is. There's a reason why you're focusing on that thing and making it grow.
So would that be like to gain more money, to gain more power?
Well, that would be a positive thing, but you see quite often there are manipulations going on and hidden agendas. As an example, supposing you're looking at a problem in your life and you wanted to get better. It might be a relationship, for instance. And if you keep focusing on the negative, that's what you're making it grow. And if you say you want to actually improve the relationship, well, the fact that you're putting your mind onto the negative is showing a hidden intention that maybe you want to destroy it.
Okay, yeah, so it's kind of built
So
up.
then you need to look at the hidden intention. So once you look at your intention, you then think about the intention, and that gives rise to an action and says something about your image.
So we could be doing, as you said, that the intention could be unconscious. Like, if you're having trouble with your wife, your partner, and you're picking faults with them all the time, your intention is to destroy that relationship.
Right.
But you think your intention is to sort her out, to make it better.
Yes.
And then, so that determines the action you take. And
exactly.
And how does that affect the image?
Well, it's showing the world who you are.
Okay.
So it's revealing the image.
Right. Okay.
For instance, you might look at why you're trying to join this relationship, and you might decide it's because you want to be alone because your image is of recluse. You know, it might be working a relationship, part of you wants to be alone because there's this image of recluse here, and it's making actions, into negative behaviour.
So really, you have to basically think about: do you want to spend your life alone because you're going to destroy this relationship pretty soon? Do you carry on that way?
Exactly.
Get what you want.
Yes, exactly. You do get what you want, but it's not always what you say you want.
Yeah. So I suppose meditating gets us more in contact with our true.
That's what this idea of self-reflection. You actually stop to look at your intention, your action, and the image.
Right. Okay.
Then you can actually see what you're creating and change the focus.
Okay. So it's good to be aware of these things, to meditate on them and look at them more deeply, because we're setting the intention in the meditation then to reveal it to us. What about the law of emotion? The next plane.
The emotion is an energy. The more emotion you have put in anything, the more energy is going into that. So all your different emotions have certain effects, on the creation, and they're all designed to do something. So it's important then when you're also creating what you want to put emotion into it. The more you get fired up with enthusiasm, the love and the excitement and the pleasure, whatever, all those things are feeding that image, make it much stronger. If you do visualisation from that emotion, it's not really strong.
All right.
If it's really emotional, and you actually go into what it feels like to have that success and really feel the emotion, then there's real power in it.
So you feel the outcome you want to have.
And you feel it emotionally too, yes.
And can you generate this emotion? It's not like faking it. It's like fake it till you make it kind of thing.
If you want something, it's got to feel good when you've got it, doesn't it? Otherwise, why do you want to create it in the first place?
Okay, so it's
simply
not so much a forcing it, it's allowing it.
It's allowing yourself to actually really dream and get carried away in the emotion. Do all the things I told you not to as a child.
And get excited about it.
Exactly.
This is going to happen, and this is going to be good. What's about the law of giving and receiving? We touched on that the other day.
We did. I said it's like in order to give. Well, giving is what puts you in touch with the Creator. Now, you have to be able to receive as well, but it's not the same as taking. So when you're open to receive, you welcome whatever comes. It's not like trying to manipulate somebody into giving something. Then that's taking, and that's really negative. Because it means you have no trust in the universe, and therefore you're going to. If you go back to this reflection, you'll see that then the image and the action of it all become negative, and you're creating negatively. When you really get in touch with what you want and open to the source, there's got to be a certain trust which makes you give all the time, because there's limitless supply. And
the receiving is basically honouring the God as well.
Exactly. You realise there's an infinite source, so there's nothing wrong with giving or receiving.
Yeah, so when somebody offers you a gift,
you don't have to feel guilty about receiving it, because there's a limitless source. Therefore you don't have to worry about giving away what you've got, because there's a limitless source.
So what do you think about this one? This is a bit off the wall, but for instance, if a child is getting spoiled with a lot of presents all the time, and people always say, oh, that child's getting spoiled, look how many things it's got, that's bad for it. It's not a treat in that case.
It's not giving it what it needs most.
Alright.
It's like when you're giving, you have to consider, what you're giving, what's going to do the most good.
Right. So
sometimes
basically,
discipline can be a great gift too.
So just to give all the time is teaching the child, because I thought it could be like teaching the child there's abundance in the world.
Yes, there's that too, but also you give discipline. That's also a gift. You teach them, you give them knowledge, you give them awareness.
So what would you say?
You give them the tools they need to live in life later.
Would you say you have to do something to get this present? No.
No, see, that's earning, which is not receiving. Some things they need to earn as well. They have to be able to receive as well as earn. They can be a bit of each. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
So what would be the discipline involved in giving...
Well, you get them to do certain things, you get them to be useful, basically, realise that they've got to consider others. They can do their share of tidying up and whatever, and begin to work towards their own goals. That's an important lesson for them too.
And then do we say, because you've done that, you get this?
That can be part of it, because we all have to go through life learning to earn a living.
Okay.
But it's more than that. It's about being responsible for themselves. Realise that if they've got a goal, they've got to work on it.
Yeah. So basically,
they can work towards creating what they want.
And if they make a mess, they have to tidy it up.
Yes.
And just basically being a good parent, really.
Exactly.
And using your
just
own...
realising you're here to teach them. You need to give them the tools they need to get on with life.
Yeah. So
and that itself is a great gift too.
What about just right, the law of shadow? Shadow, yeah. Right, it's terrible.
Well, basically, what that means is that anything you deny will come at you from the outside. So your shadow is there to actually keep bringing you all the things you're missing. You sort of deny something about yourself, and the shadow brings it to you. It's almost like you dropped some piece of rubbish, somebody picks up his ear, you drop something. Yeah. And it's like it's always there, you can't get away from it.
But it also suppresses things that are good for you as well, is that right? Is it always bad things?
It's not bad or good. Whatever you deny comes at you from the outside. If you deny your creativity, you find yourself surrounded by creative people. Yeah. You deny your anger, you get surrounded by angry people.
So basically, be more observant to patterns in your life.
Exactly, it's what is around you is usually what you're denying within yourself.
What about the law of resonance?
That goes on to what I was saying about the world not being all to do with impact and linear. It's about understanding how waves interact with each other, energies affect each other. All the energies you're letting in are changing you and you're changing them. And so we create our whole reality through resonance rather than impact. We don't force things to happen. As you change your nature, it changes the world around you.
So, to go and do anything, for instance, a comedian could have a brilliant comedy script, but if he goes in there with a certain negative, or whatever you want to call it, attitude, I'm better than you, I'm the greatest, laugh at my jokes, that will not have the same impact as if somebody who goes in there with a sharing, giving heart.
Well, the person basically has to be funny. That's the resonance they're holding before they even do anything.
Explain that again?
Well, basically, some people are funny before they even do anything. That's the resonance they're holding.
Okay.
That's the resonance. It's not doing anything yet.
Okay.
And therefore, when they start making jokes, it still flows. And so it's like you have to be...
You have to become the thing.
Yeah, you have to be in that energy. You have to hold that resonance.
All right. And can you expand on that yourself? Do you know what I mean? If you're funny, can you make yourself more?
You can. You can receive it. These are all energies. Remember, all potential, all possibilities exist in higher planes. Right. You go to the causal plane, you can actually absorb more of the essence of funniness if you want to. Okay. You can go and seek it out there.
So it's opening yourself up all the time to your core.
Letting more and more of it in.
What's the law of detachment?
It means that you don't make anything real. It doesn't mean you don't have them. See, this is where people make a mistake when they say you don't have money and songs because it's materialistic. Well, actually, if you think your spirituality depends on not having it, that makes it very real. If you're detached, it means it doesn't make any difference to your spirituality. If your spirituality is what's most real, and the things you have around you are less real, they don't really matter. And if they're illusion, you can always redream them. What you make real is things harder to change. Okay. Therefore, to be able to create the reality as you want it, you've got to have a certain sense of it not being real. So that when you get it, you don't become too attached to it? You can enjoy it, but you don't think it's real. Okay. So you just take it as part of the illusion, and exactly. And, you can enjoy the illusion. You know, you can dream something else the next day, and kind of carry on the unfolding. So you're going to realise what's most important then is your creative potential. Because that can create anything. The things are just just little games. It can be difficult to keep that going in very difficult times, you know, like a serious accident or cancer or something like that. That's where responsibility comes in. To be able to say, I've created this, and I can change it. What's the law of purpose? Well, you need a purpose to see you through life. You know, when you've got a purpose, that gives you direction, so it gives you motivation, so it gives you the energy you need to go forward. Everything, because everything has its course in the future, purpose is what gives you all your meaning, your direction in life. But in this world we live in, there's very little people have a true purpose. Because they've all got one, but they've forgotten it. Okay. It all came here for a reason. So basically, if everyone found a true purpose, the world would dramatically change, but it would still keep a natural order kind of thing. Yes. And things would work. Things work in harmony better. Complex way, yes. It's harmonious but complex. It's not fitting like a cog in the wheel. It's everybody finding their potential and then seeing where it fits with everything else. And using that for everyone's benefit. Yes. At the same time. Everything benefits and it's very complex.